In this session, we will look at simplifying linear algebraic expressions. We'll look at the simple algebraic expressions, and then we'll look at some intermediate and also some complex algebraic expressions. Let's dig in. If we have an algebraic expression, let's start really simple. We'll start with something like 4x plus 3x minus 5x. So these are, because you have x in all these expressions, we call them common terms, or we call them similar terms, or some may call them like terms. They all mean the same thing. So you have 4x plus 3x, which gives you 7x minus 5x, which is 2x. Now, if we had 4x plus 5y minus 6x plus 3y. In this case, what we need to do first is combine the common terms, or some will say group like terms. So what this really means is that every term that has the same variable, you bring them together. So your x and y are variables. So let's look at this. 4x minus 6x would have common terms or common variables, plus 5y plus 3y. So 4x minus 6x gives us negative 2x. 5y plus 3y gives us positive 8y. So that's how you deal with this type of a problem. Another example, 3x plus 6z plus 5y minus 4z plus z. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, first step, we have to group common terms together. So we'll look at 3x. Okay, there's no term common to it, so we can just leave it that way. What about 6z? So we have how many z's? 1, 2, 3. So we have 6z minus 4z plus z, and then we have 5y. So this gives us 3x, 6z minus 4z, that's going to give us 2z, plus 1z, so that's going to give us 3z plus 5y. So this is your final expression. One more example of this type before we move to what I will consider the intermediate examples. 15y plus 6s minus 3y plus 4p plus 10s. So the first thing we're going to do, step number 1, is group the common terms together. So let's look at, we're starting with 15y, so let's see if there are any other y variables here. So minus 3y, then let's look at plus 6s, then we also have 10s, and then we have 4p. So 15y minus 3y, that gives us 12y. 6s plus 10s gives us positive 16s, and then we have 4p. So that's how you deal with this. Just to remember, the first thing you want to do is to group common terms or collect like terms, and then solve the grouping of the like terms or the common terms. Now let's look at this, what I would consider to be an intermediate example. What if I had something like this? 7 4x plus 3y minus x 7 plus y. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we have an additional step. We have to apply the law of distribution. Remember, the property of distribution with regards to multiplication is that when you have two terms added together, and you have the product, the sum of that multiplied by another number. What we're going to do is we have 7 multiplied by 4x. So this number on this outer number would be multiplied by each term, and then you have plus 7 multiplied by 3y. Same applies here, minus x multiplied by 7. Then because you have minus and then you have a plus here, we have a result. The resulting term is going to be negative. So negative x times y. So 7 times 4x is going to give us 28x. 7 times 3y is going to give us 21y. 7 times x is going to give us 7x, and then we have xy. So first step, now we have the expression in an easier format to group like terms, or to group common terms. So we have 28x minus 7x plus 21y minus xy. So you can see here that this is the only group with common terms. This right here is the only group with common terms. So 28x minus 7x gives us 21x plus 21y minus xy. Now let's try one more example. For 3x minus 5y plus 6, 2p plus y minus 3x plus y. Okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to use the law of distribution or the property of distribution for sum of numbers. Now we have 4 times 3x, then we have 4 minus 5y times 4, then we have 6 times 2p, then we have 6 times y, and then we have minus 3 times x, and then minus 3 times y. So let's do this. 4 times 3x gives us 12x. 5y minus 4 gives us 5y times minus 5y times 4 gives us minus 20y. 6 times 2p gives us 12p. 6 times y gives us 6y. Minus 3 times x minus 3x minus 3 times y minus 3y. So next step is to group common terms. So we have 12x. The other common term like that is minus 3x. And then we have minus 20y. And then we have minus 3y. And then we have plus 12p. So now we will solve this or simplify each of these terms. So 12x minus 3x, that's going to give us 9x, minus 20y minus 3y, minus 23y, and then this is a standalone term, so we have plus 12p. Now let's recap on this. When you have an expression, the first thing you want to do is to collect like terms or group common terms and solve. Now when you have an expression where you have to do distribution work on the expression to simplify it, you want to first do apply the property of distribution to your expression, and then right after that group like terms together, group common terms together, and then solve the common terms, and that should get you to your answer.